Welcome to the Heart to Heart podcast brought to you by the Ramon Abaitis Foundation, your space to catch inspiring real-life stories told straight from the heart. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the world, and welcome to the very first episode of Heart to Heart. And we're quite excited, slightly nervous, but very, very excited to talk about raising a healthy nation. My name is Liz Baumgart. I am the Partnerships and Communications Manager of the Ramon Abaitis Foundation. And we're very, very excited to welcome you to today's pilot episode. And with me today is one of my friends and dear colleague from the foundation. We have
a whole day. Greetings to you, Miss Liz, and to our listener and viewers. I'm Irene Cogtas. You can call me Mai. I work as an advocacy program officer under the Dolores Abaitis Children's Fund of Ramon Abaitis Foundation. So, based on the name, we work for children, especially in addressing the gaps of early education and early health and nutrition.
Thanks, Myron. Yeah, we are very excited to have you with us. And we also have a couple of guests with us for today's Raising a Healthy Nation episode. But before we begin, we'd like to give a little bit of background, just in case it's your first time to hear about the Ramon Abaitis Foundation or basically stumbling into our podcast. So very quickly, we are the Ramon Abaitis Foundation. We are a foundation based here in Cebu, Philippines, just in case you're an international listener or someone just really stumbles upon, again, to this podcast. And primarily, our mission as a foundation is we uphold the dignity of man by working with communities and elevating their well-being. For us in the foundation, we focus on 3 well-being domains. May this be the economic well-being domain, the social well-being domain, and the physical well-being domain. And we were very proud as a foundation. We've been around for the last 55 years. And over the 55 years, we've had an opportunity of featuring and working a lot with communities. And today, as we launch our very first podcast, we're very excited to share the stories of our partners, our advocates, and the communities that we're serving through a new channel, our podcast, Heart to Heart, an opportunity for us to share inspiring stories straight from the heart. And this is where we officially begin. It's our very first episode, and we're starting. So Heart to Heart, today's episode is entitled Raising a Healthy Nation. We'd really like to focus on raising a healthy nation and working with communities and focusing on nutrition and the stories of our mothers and parents on the ground. So there's a lot to talk about in terms of raising a healthy nation. May this be on an economic aspect, may this be on a social aspect, may this be on an environmental aspect. But for today's episode of Raising a Healthy Nation, we're really going back on the ground on the foundational level and talking about raising our children healthy and looking at the nutrition aspects of our children. And today, we're celebrating also Nutrition Month. So happy Nutrition Month.
Happy
It's
Nutrition
July.
Month.
We're recording this just in time for Nutrition Month. So it's really focusing on nutrition, the things that we need to consider for Nutrition Month, and listening also the stories of the challenges of combating malnutrition and the challenges also as a parent as we try to raise our children healthy and strong and as potentially protective citizens for our country. So with us today, we have exciting and wonderful guests. And I'll pass it on to Myron to introduce our wonderful guests for today.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Miss Liz, for our first ever podcast now that started by RAFI. So, happy Nutrition Month. And the biggest question we have really in mind is how do we help raise a healthy nation? So we are so privileged with us today to have here 2 special guests, and they will help us answer this question. So let me introduce our first guest speaker. He is very known for her blogs known as Bayhana, who shares information and entertaining stories for empowering women. And also, it's her first time to be a mom. So we are very privileged to have here with us Miss Isa Perez Ganjongko, or Issaplease.
Hi everyone. Thanks for having me. This is my second time to really talk about being a mom, so this is all very new to me, and the topic is very interesting. So I hope I don't disappoint. But thank you for having me, and I'm so excited.
We're so happy to have you here with us. So our second guest speaker will help us give an overall background of the situation of nutrition or malnutrition in Cebu City. So we have invited here a representative from Cebu City Nutrition Office, no other than Miss Mary Bliss, Joy P. Iguana, CCNO Nutrition Program Coordinator. Good afternoon, Miss.
Hi, Miss. Good afternoon, ladies. Good afternoon to everyone. And thank you for having me here as well, no? Especially now that we are celebrating the Nutrition Month. So this is really one of the best time to share ideas and, of course, to talk things about the community.
Thank you. I know that the Cebu City Nutrition Office is quite busy since it's Nutrition Month. My best memories about Nutrition Month have always been in school when I think most of you will remember this, that we'd either have to dress up like a vegetable or a fruit or talk about our grow and glow vegetable, this food that we have to eat.
Yeah.
So it's very timely to have this conversation, and we're very excited to learn more about the work that you do in the Cebu City Nutrition Office and the things that are happening in our communities as we talk more about nutrition and the state of malnutrition and the things that we can do together at home or together in the community in helping our children and the families on the ground. And we're also very excited to hear the story of Isa as a first-time mom and the things that we have to do at home in terms of raising a child. There's a huge responsibility, and we're very excited to hear about your story as well as you raise North. So yeah, it's we've been, especially as I work with in the foundation and I work with the Dolores Aboites Children's Fund. We very recently also launched a latest program and campaign, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. What we've realized and learned is that there's a lot to talk about nutrition and malnutrition and how that affects a child's development. And what we've discovered and learned is that the first 1,000 days of a child are extremely important. These are the fundamental moments. Very crucial of a child. And maybe for some, they might not know this. For others, it's a fact that we just easily breeze over. But perhaps from the Cebu City Nutrition Office, you can give us a little bit more insight, like why are the first 0, it's very specific, 0 to 1,000 days of a child important, and why do we have to look at the things that they eat? Why do we have to look at the nutrition of a child from 0 to 1,000 days?
Okay, yes. So the first 1,000 days of life starts from pregnancy up to the first 2 years of the child. So it is really known as the window of opportunity, wherein the health, nutrition, and development are established. So it's very important. Why? Because this is the time wherein the optimum and proper growth is being built. So diha gyud siya nato hatagag pundasyon kay kumbaga it's like building a home. This is the foundation, no. Aside from that, if the child is well nourished, so it is known na reduced yung risk niya sa diseases. So mas lisod ang magpatambal kaysa sa mukaon og healthy or atong hatagan og sakto nga sustansya ang atong mga bata. So ideally from pregnancy after the 2 years of a child's life, dili na to gyud siya dapat hatagan og saktong buhusan og saktong pagtagan nga dapat iyang makuha ang saktong nutrition. Well, aside from reduce ang iyang risk sa diseases, higher sa ng IQ level sa usa ka bata. So mas okay ang performance in school. Pag-graduate niya, he or she can find a good job. Yes, and aside from that, mas healthy gyud siya, no? Layo siya sa mga sakit-sakit. So that's how important the first 1,000 days of a child's life.
Yeah, thank you. it's really the foundation. More kung sakto no, if you build a house, that's really the foundation. And if you miss that, dili ligon ang balay. It won't be as sturdy and it won't be as strong in times of troubles. So yeah, thank you for that. I'll go straight to Isa, and I'm very curious, like coming from that kind of input, like dapat 0 to 1,000 days. Like, how did you, as a first-time mom, did you prepare? Did you take anything in consideration, or like, and where are you right now in terms of like you and your child's 0 to 1,000 days? Pila naman ka days ang...
I can't help but giggle every time like you talk to me, because I'm over here like, what are they gonna ask me? Like, do I even know what to say? Because I'm so nervous. But it's interesting because when I heard the first time 0 to 1,000 days, I was thinking, okay, since he was born, pero wako kibaw nga, it was since it starts during pregnancy.
Yes.
So now I was like, oh my God, what was I doing while I was pregnant? But it's interesting though, because we did plan to have my son. So I used to not have a very healthy lifestyle, like, laag and all those other stuff. So when we decided that we were going to start trying, I really did change a lot of my lifestyle. Like, I stopped drinking and like mga kiat na ko nga activities, and then like I started eating healthier. So yeah, and then I was more particular. So now I feel a little bit better, no? Nakapanti ko nga nagtinarong ko sa kong life. But so we did that, and then now I'm breastfeeding my son, and he's starting to eat solid. So we mix all of that together, and so far it's been okay. But yeah, so I mean, I think I've done my job so far. So yeah.
Yeah, I like to pick up on that, that you planned, and I think it's important, like, for family. But I don't have a child. I don't have a family. But I guess when I look at raising a child and planning for that, I feel like for me it's important to plan and like say, at this point I'd like to start having a family, and going to the 0 days and connecting that it's important. That the 0 days is actually also part of like me carrying a child.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's very important, like for families, especially mothers, because the mom technically carries that child? No, what are the things to consider if the mom starts planning to have a child and starts carrying it? Like, what are the things to consider?
A lot, and most especially when it comes to health and nutrition. No, the mom should take good care of her body, especially in the first 1,000 days, especially during pregnancy. Kasi there's a lot of consideration. It's where the life starts. So it's where the foundation that needs to build. So from that, mothers should really eat nutritious, should practice healthy living, cut off the vices, like what mom said earlier, stop the vices. Kasi, of course, we all know that it would create a negative impact to the development of the child.
And it's not just eating, no, it's really eating healthy.
Yes.
You have to be more mindful. Dili siya like when you're pregnant, like you get really hungry or na kay mga things that you crave for, but then it's not just, oh, I'm hungry, I'm craving, I want to eat this. It's you also then have to think, I can't eat too much because it could lead to gestational diabetes or preeclampsia. So you're not just eating to eat. You have to be very mindful, and that's a lot of things to take into consideration. Good.
So you're saying that the lifestyle of a mother can really affect the child. So that's why we have to be mindful and conscious enough to the food that we eat and even to the things that we do.
Yes. Kaayo.
Yeah, I think that there's always like a level of mindfulness, and at the same time, a level of planning that is involved. And I guess maybe for some that might be intimidating, and but we'll go to that part now of how we can better plan and how we can best prepare later on in our conversation. It's quite exciting because we're already like jumping in and sharing so many stories. But I'd like to. I'm very curious about the things that we have to like prepare for, and the things that if we don't. If you're not mindful about taking care of your body and of the 0 days of while you're taking care of the child that you're rearing, how does that affect and impact like the growth and development of the child that you're carrying?
Well, basically, it will cause a lot of negative impacts such as malnutrition. So that's one of the reason why malnutrition is also very rampant in our community nowadays. There's a lot young mothers. So young mothers, especially the ones that they doesn't know, they're not prepared to be a mom, and it's unplanned. So they didn't even know that they're already pregnant, stuff like that. So how can they manage, or how can they practice eating a healthy habits for their babies, where in fact late na nahibawaan ba na buntis di ay, no?
Even the vitamins po, di ba? Supplements.
Yes. So there's a lot of factors. Well-nourished child, higher, as I've said earlier, higher ang IQ, lower risk of diseases. So if the child was not given that enough nutrients during pregnancy, or especially in the first 1,000 days, so opposite ang makuha sa bata. Possible na, the malnutrition, stunted. It's very rampant nowadays, the stunted. Wasted, undernutrition. Those are the stuff that we also need to increase awareness to the society, kay daghan man na dili pa jud aware ana.
What do you mean by stunted, miss, kanang dugay siya yung developmental life
Actually,
milestones?
It's low height for age. Kasi basically, daghan mo sa ato short.
In Cebuano.
So, malnourished ko sa una.
Yes.
Putot mo.
Putot. Yes, actually, a lot of people think, ay, putot ang bata, putot na gud akong mama, so hereditary na siya. But a lot of us doesn't aware the fact that it's malnutrition. It's caused by malnutrition. Kasi in the first 1,000 days, starts from pregnancy, wala na nato nahatagan og saktong sustansya ang kaugalingon sa pagbuntis pa lang hanto sa pagdako sa bata. So stuff like that.
Miss Mary, now that you have mentioned about malnutrition, and based on our conversation that improving the health and wellness of a child is really a big challenge, especially for the first-time mom and even for the community. Now, may we ask you, what's the situation of malnutrition here in Cebu City?
Actually, here in Cebu City, taas sad ang ato ang malnutrition rate. Though I really cannot give the latest data, but let me check also. Actually, I would like para mas kuan siya, mas masabtan sa ato ang mga viewers, of course. Let me share the data basing versus the Philippines and the data of the province of Central Visayas. According to the nutrition situation basing on our National Nutrition Survey, here in Central Visayas, 2 out of 5 ang stunted or too short for age, putot. 2 out of 10 ang underweight or 2 kuan siya ka ng underweight, kakulangon sa timbang base sa edad. Unya, wasted, 7 out of 100 wasted or too thin for height. Nya, 3 out of 100 ang overweight or too heavy for height, no? So, mo na siya ang diri sa atong community. And when it comes also in the Philippines, second ang Filipinos, no, the second shortest in ASEAN region. So daghang mugbo. Nya sige na tong ginaingon before na ay mugbo kay inana mo jud ng Pinoy oy. Pinoy biyata, di ba? And 9th ang Philippines said in global standards burden, and 10th siya sa global burden of wasting. Wasting is kanang kakulangon sa timbang base sa iyahang height. So yon, kuanta, honor ta when it comes to malnutrition, generally the Philippines.
Natay mga 6 people in this room, kung if we say it's 2 out of 5 na kanang stunted, meaning sa room na to dire in this recording room, nahog kita sa, na-enjoy nahog sa stunted.
Agree.
This data is very alarming, Miss, no? So, based on our previous conversation that lifestyle, the way that mother eats is also a contributing factor. Are there other contributing factor why this number is high in the city, in Cebu City, as well as in our country?
Actually, a lot of contributing factors, especially now that we are facing pandemic. A lot of families lost their jobs. So how can you feed your child? How can they feed their children to get the healthy meals on their table? So there are stuff like that. People, poverty, It's one of the major reason because cannot afford to buy foods. So that's also one of the things that I think we need to address, no? And maybe low awareness. A lot of families, mothers, and caregivers are not yet well informed about the consequence of malnutrition.
Now that you have mentioned these contributing factors, can you share with us what the Cebu City has done to combat these factors, just to lessen the number of malnourished children in our city, at least?
Mm-hmm. Actually, we have several programs. The Cebu City Nutrition Office, Cebu City itself, have several programs and activities, such as dietary supplementation program, no? Mo na siyang feeding para sa mga bata. Because mainly, the reason why malnutrition is high, there's a lot of children who go to bed hungry, di ba? Natulog na lang, gakutoy ang tiyan, natulog na lang nagigutom. So dietary supplementation program could really create a huge impact of the life of these children, like giving them a chance to grow, a chance to, to live a brighter future ahead of them. And aside from dietary supplementation programs, we also have this provision of supplements such as vitamin A, iron for mothers. We also have RUTF, ready-to-use therapeutic foods and ready-to-use supplementary foods for our malnourished na mga bata na jud. So mo ang atong gipanghatag sa katong i-prioritize nato ang mga malnourished. We also do have Operation Timbang Plus, wherein diyan nato makita ang timbang sa mga bata, no? Kung asa sila, okay bang ilang timbang, healthy, or nabilong ba sa mga malnourished. And also, we do have the nutrition education because nowadays, it's also very important to empower, to increase the knowledge of our mothers and caregivers. So we have one-on-one counseling, why you need to eat healthy, why you need to feed your child, ingon ana na mga stuff and activities.
So the initiatives really should involve the community because it
Exactly.
cannot be combat without the help of the community. And speaking of community, I hear about the Cebu City Nutrition Network where the CCNO is also a member. Can you tell us a little background of what the network has been doing also for this malnutrition problem in Cebu City?
Actually, the network has been implementing several activities, campaigns to combat the malnutrition in the community and improve its nutrition landscape. I think one of those will be the upcoming campaign, which is a Chance to Grow campaign, adopting the malnourished child, no? And I think it's very helpful. It's very helpful, actually, not only in the families, Kasi it doesn't mean na pag ma-solve ang malnutrition sa isa ka pamilya, ang pamilya na mag-benefit. So mag-benefit sa ang community. Why? Who knows? Those children na malnourished karon na ato ang nahatagan og chance to grow will be the doctors in the future, would be our future leaders, would be our future engineers, diba? So the community, the society will also benefit from it.
So there's many communities will benefit. How about you, Miss Isa? Your son, right, is just young, 7-month-old. So how do you ensure that your child take nutritious food, especially now that di pa siya kabaw mo ingon nga mama na kung kanon?
True. Well, in regards to that, I think that it really had to start with me. So from pregnancy, like we mentioned earlier, I really did have to change a lot of my lifestyle. So I really made it a conscious effort to be more healthy in the way that like I eat and generally in everything that I do. Especially now that I'm breastfeeding, I also had to make sure nga it's just been a continuous journey of trying to be healthier. I've learned a lot from taking malunggay, a bunch of malunggay, especially if you're breastfeeding. Gabi, daghan kaayo. But so it started from that, and also I really do believe that knowledge is power. I say that a lot on my show. So I am a nurse by profession, although I never practiced. But I know we took a nutrition class sa una, so I do have some knowledge of it. But there was really a time before I started feeding my son nga I really had to do as much research again as I possibly could kung unsa gisakto ipakaon and stuff like that. So right now what I do is hinay-hinay lang when it comes to the food. I'm really starting to learn what he likes, unsa iyaha mga things when it comes to food. But I also really make sure nga healthy siya as much as possible. I try to have kanang meat, iron, and vegetables and fruits in every single meal that I give him. And kana lang, murag, I also feel like when you're a parent, there's a lot of pressure, especially when it comes to breastfeeding. So for myself, I always told myself from the very beginning, and my husband was there to really help me, murag, we will breastfeed, and I am an advocate for it, but I don't pressure other mothers to do it. Kung unsa gyud kaya ninyo and what you decide to do as a family, kay it's not really set for everyone's capabilities or lifestyle, but kana siya, we really had the mindset nga, if kaya buhaton, if dili, then we will supplement him in other ways. Ang importante lang is he's always fed and nourished. So we try to carry that with us every single day. And so far, nakungkaon akong anak. So we're very happy about that. He eats a lot. I don't plan on weaning him anytime soon. I'm gonna leave that up to him kung kanasa siya mabuhi nako. But when it comes to food, I'm very happy he's enthusiastic about it. So yeah, it's been always learning. Kay I feel like there's so much to learn, good, and things to pick up niya. Yeah, I was just taking it one day at a time. And kana.
Yeah, I like the idea, and I think it's very important that it's always about learning and discovery and building that knowledge, because like what you said, knowledge is power. It's if we don't have the right understanding and knowledge, like how do we move forward and make sure that all of our bases are covered in ensuring that our child and our community is healthy. And I like that we always go back to like the parent or the community and the child. And I guess it's really true that raising a healthy nation really starts at home.
Yeah.
And at home it means that we learn, we understand.
Yeah.
And I like what the Cebu City Nutrition Office is doing a lot. That we're advocating for it. We're having these kinds of conversations about malnutrition and stunting, and really educating our communities and our parents. But I'm also very curious to know and understand what are the things that are the misconceptions or the things that are discoveries for parents when you talk with them and have conversations about malnutrition and things that your child should be eating. Like what are things that parents or families didn't really know about in terms of making sure that our child is healthy and all of the bases are covered?
Mostly is that a lot of mothers, caregivers, families are not aware that the impact of having a healthy meal. So, okay lang na maskin unsang ipakaon sa bata. It could be no branding. It could be some noodles. Pwede na busog naman
Basta lang
ang bata.
mabusog.
Basta lang mabusog. Things like that. They're not aware that instead of feeding vegetables that would, nourish the child, bisan unsa lang ipakaon, basta kay mabusog lang ang bata, basta kay okay na. So those are the things na lack sad siya og kanang knowledge gyud. And aside from that also, I think behavioral change is very important nowadays. I do not know if I'm the only one nga kanang nakabantay na lahi na jud karon nga panahon. So kinahanglan jud nato tudluan sad ang mga mothers kay aside from lack ang ilahang knowledge on the impact of having healthy meals in the table, no, nga makanourish silang mga bata, kuan sa they'd rather not indulge themselves, especially if na mga events na pwede makakuha knowledge, ay later na, ay kapoy man, inana ba, no?
I agree with that. Kay that's exactly how Bayhana started as well. Kanang diba I mentioned ganina, I am a nurse, but I talk to other women and I realize that daghang things that they don't know about their own bodies. Yeah, it's something that you can really just Google, but it's when you come up to someone and force them or like give them I'm going to teach you, automatic ma-reject sila. So Bayhana came up because I wanted to fill in that gap of people not knowing about their bodies in a way nga they don't even understand or realize that they're learning na. Kay lisod kaayo ingnon nga tudloan ti kahana para rabaya sana nila, di ba? Yeah. Nadya siya hesitation. I understand that good. Yeah.
Dili na ganahan. So, except if na kay, uy, na something ani na makuha.
Sayawin na lang sunod, miss. Kanang sayaw-sayaw ni mo, nasa kibaw na, nagluto na din sa saktong sudan. No, diba?
Yes, actually, one of the challenge, jud siya, no, sa mga health workers, nutrition workers, unsaon pag-nurture, unsaon pagtudlo ang mga mothers na, uy, ano sa nato, pakanon sa natog sakto para dili sakitin ang atong mga bata kay wala man sila kabawaan na kung dili they will nourish sakitin ang bata, di ba? Low ang performance sa school, one of the reason wala na dili kay inana ka ang kahibalo, dili na nakataas ang kahibalo sa mga mothers.
I think sometimes it's like I realize nga you can't raise a healthy child unless you know how to raise a healthy child. You can't just expect them to be that way. Sa imuha ginang paningkamot, diba? So
Miss Bliss, you made mention about the education and also the notion of the parents nga basta makakaon lang okay na. How about those having this idea na ang nutritious nga pagkaon kay mahal? It's very expensive to prepare a healthy food. That's why some of the parents, if not some, or most of the parents, would opt to buy mga kanang tuslubuwa or mga unhealthy food na naa sa, sorry ha, no, makuha na ito, humba, naa sa baligya sa ilang mga silingan. Basta makapakaon lang. Is it true nga mahal ba jud ang mag-prepare og nutritious nga pagkaon for the children?
Definitely not. There's really a lot of low cost na mga recipes, no? Vegetables. Actually, it's one of our advocacy for families to have this backyard gardening, no? So backyard gardening, pwede rin ta magtanom og like okra. Okra can be steamed, 'di ba? So pwede na to na i-steam. Yeah, that's just a healthy meal na kanang mga dahon-dahon. We can make a salad with that, 'di ba? So gulan lagamay na lamas, so healthy meal na siya. And mothers just need to be resourceful siguro. Be resourceful and be creative. Be creative lang yun. Always think outside of the box.
That's why siguro importante if growing up the children will be familiar na with these vegetables, di ba? Kaya I've known children nga bisag tagaan ni mo vegetable nga healthy dili na mo kaon because naanad sila na their mother cook chicken, adobo for them.
Yes, exactly. Ang pag-train sa bata is also very important. Even adults nowadays, there's a lot of adults who doesn't want to eat vegetables.
that's true. Yeah.
Because from being a child, wala na practice, so mothers also should teach. I know it's hard to teach the kids.
Akong baby, no, kay 7 months pa man siya. So I'm in the very early stages of feeding him. But so far, I've only done fruits and vegetables. And I do see nga naa siya difficulty because like my son really likes sweet stuff. So if I make him steamed vegetables, di kanya kanon. So I have to be creative. So akong gibuhat is I'll mix it with my breast milk. So mas tamis siya. Sometimes I'll really mix it in with fruits ing ana. So I think of that, but nga lisod siya. But I also think nga as long as I'm feeding him, as long as I'm breastfeeding him up until 2 years old man ang advice, diba? Then it's okay if he doesn't really finish the food I give him. Because that's, ang akong purpose is just for him to get used to like building healthy eating habits and like learning how to feed and getting him to be accustomed to everything. And I don't want to sway and make it easy nga. I'll give him something that's not as healthy just so that he eats. Kananging ana, but I want him to really learn nga. Kaon lang ko ani. He doesn't know what he's missing out on all the sweets and all the sugary stuff. So unya na ikadako na lang nimo, hinay-hinay lang ta. But for now, I really am trying to learn how to cook. Kaya di ko kiba mo luto. Taon lang yun. Pero I'm really learning and it's something that I want to do for him because I really want him to be healthy and have good eating habits when he grows up. So
So what I like about your sharing, Miss Isa, is that you journey with your son. What I mean by this is that imo siyang giduyugan. So when you ask him to eat, or when you feed him healthy food, I think you also eat it yourself. Parang the role of the parents really know, especially the mother, when it comes to health and nutrition, is to role model.
Yeah. I see it as young as he is already, that he really picks up a lot of the things that I do, me and my husband. So as early as now, we really try to mirror, or like we try to do what we want him to do as well. And that includes eating and stuff like that. So, okay siya, oy. Kaon, hungit na siya siyang self. So, sa'yo na lang akong trabaho.
Tinood ba ni siya, Miss Bliss? Di ba you've been to many communities naman, I believe, that in implementing the supplemental feeding. So I think one of the dapat sa i-address when it comes to educating the parents is that they also role model nga. If they want their children to eat vegetables, they also have to eat them themselves. No, kay kung imo ipakaon sa bata kalabaso niya, nagtanaw ang bata nimo, gikaon nimo baboy. So di ba?
It's true. I really agree. Importante gud siya mag-role model ka sa bata niya. Strategy gyud, part of the strategy gyud siguro nimo as a mother, no, kung para mapaunsa siya mapakaon kay kuan biasad ang bata kaning imitator, no, kanang musuhid kung unsay gibuhat sa dagko.
Mag-creative ra ka basta maabot na ka ng tigpagkaon sa bata. Daghan na kay kag mga tips and mga tricks dira. So
in order to feed a child, you also have to be a child in many ways, in creating mga creative ways in feeding children. Is it included in your educational awareness or program in how to be creative in those things?
Actually, yes. Ideally, we have the barangay nutrition scholars, man. So they are the one into the community, into the barangays, doing that one-on-one counseling to the mothers, mag-follow up, if natay mga feeding. So sila sa gyud na ang nag-nutrition education sa mga mama na mag-strategize gyud na dili lang gyud pasagdan na mudili ang bata ba, ay hindi ko mo kaon, okay kaon. No, so if dili mo kaon, mangitag way para sa gingon ni Miss na you need to be a role model sa mothers. Kung di mo kaon halakaon sa mami kaon sa para mo kaon si baby. Ingon ana, no.
So these Cebu nutrition scholars are found in each barangay?
Yes, we do have city nutrition scholars gyud sa kada barangays. Those large barangays na iduha, but sa mga other barangays we have one. Nagitay isa ka CNS.
So what's their role in that barangay?
Kuan sa nutrition educations, no, mainly on the providing nutrition services sa barangay levels na mag-nutrition education, ingon ana unya mag-follow up, especially if natay mga malnourished na mga bata, raising advocacies because there's a lot pa to work on when it comes to nutrition. So raise awareness sa mga mothers, mga activities na ilang gipang buhat, vitamin A supplementation, so part sa gyud na siya. Strengthening and assisting the barangay nutrition committee. Kasi sa barangay mansad, naagyud tay mga BNC, so mo ni atong barangay nutrition committee, ang gahead gyud ana is of course the chair si barangay kapitan. Unya we have barangay nutrition action officer. So kani si Binaw, siya ni ang kanang gahead sa nutrition program sa barangay niya. Si CNS kani si City Nutrition Scholar. So sila ang mo-assist sa atong Binaw when it comes to the programs and activities nga giplan sa barangay for that year.
Okay. How do you help the barangay identify malnourished children? So what's the way of identifying them nga sila ang mga kinahanglan tabangan in the community?
Operation Timbang Plus. So, diha gyud nato makita no sa OPT, sa pagpanimbang sa mga bata. Ingon ana kay they need man to go to the health centers, and our CNS kay naamo jud na sila sa health center. So, diha sila maka-identify.
So every child in the community is encouraged to patimbang
patimbang
sa community.
yes.
Oo. So unsa kanus-aman dapat mag-start ang pagtimbang sa bata?
January niya, nasa na sila follow up gyud ang ato ang barangays. Nasa na sila follow up na weighing. Kay diha man gud nato mahibaw-an, ma-monitor ang timbang sa mga bata. Actually, ga house to house na sila in the first try of this year. Nag house to house na gyud nagpanimbang ang ato ang mga nutrition ug health workers para ma-identify nato ba ang situation sa community.
How about you, Miss Isa? Nagtimbang pug ka sa imong anak. Do you usually
Yeah,
track?
we actually do. We really like make an effort to timbang him, and we keep track of his weight development and height development, especially because he's still so young. So every month we mo adto sa doctor to have him checked up, and I'm also very keen. I mean, I try very hard to really administer his tambal. I mean, vitamins and stuff like that. So we really try to keep him as healthy as possible. Said good.
You mentioned about, di ba, you tell us about the ratio of the malnourished children in the Philippines. There's what you call stunted, there's what you call underweight, there's what you call overweight, and the other one, what's that? Wasted. So,
yes.
which of these 4 category of malnutrition do you think is the most important nga atong i-combat? Nga naa siya long-term effects sa bata.
Actually, tanan.
Yes, a very
tanan.
challenging
Oo.
problem to face these 4 categories. So,
That's why.
I also learned, Ms. Bliss, na kanidang stunted is irreversible. Meaning, once you're stunted, putot ka growing up because of malnutrition.
Tanaw lagi ka na ko. Pag-iwan mo.
Na, kay baby. Bitaw, para ni si mong baby.
Ako gitang standard.
Pareha kami nag-question ko sa self nga nung mubo ko. Tapos looking at my siblings, anong taas sila? So maybe wala ko na feed og tarong joke. Kay taas man akong papa, ako ra mama mubo. Ano wa jud ko naliwat bitaw. Anyway, ususad na sa mga reason no why kami nga taga DACF is really promoting early health and nutrition early kay we realize nga there are irreversible effect if malnutrition is not addressed. So sama atong stunting nga which kanang very sad ba nga ang bata growing up magbubo na jud siya.
Yes.
So ana siya miss.
Yes, that's why we are really promoting the power of the first 1,000 days. Kasi pag nahatagan siya og saktong sustansya sa first 1,000 days, the tendency is ma-change pag yun na siya, no? Ma-change pa siya. Kung baga ato pang mabira pag yun na to
Napay
future sa
opportunity
bata.
or chances.
Imbis stunted siya, pina 5, 6 na rin. Diba? Kasi according sa study, pag stunted magod ang bata, so there's also effect in the brain development. So, it's really very important na ma-address nato na siya ang stunting. Kasi a lot of us, pag yun na dili aware, ana.
Thank you, Miss Bliss.
You're right. There's really a lot to consider, really a lot to think about and study in terms of how we can take care of our child, the nutrition, and then looking at the long-term impacts if we really fail to address the requirements of our children. And it starts at home, but more than that, it really takes the community
Yes.
for us to take care of our children. And more than anything, we're very thankful to the Cebu City Nutrition Office, the Cebu City Nutrition Network, for all of the things that you guys been doing. There's so many situations and reasons why perhaps families can't really take care of their children or where we are right now in terms of the state of nutrition. But what we're very grateful for and hopeful for is that our communities, partner organizations, and advocates who are really pushing for combating and addressing malnutrition and helping and giving children a chance to grow and become healthy and providing them a bright future. And so more than anything, we're very thankful to CCNN and CCNO and all of our partners and advocates in this mission. And we'd also like to thank Isa for your stories. It's really amazing and inspiring for a first-time mom, and your stories of how you're raising North and sharing their insights. And we're very excited to see your son as he grows up and as he enjoys all of the healthy meals that you're providing him. And you're a perfect example for all of our families and as they raise their children at home. And there's really so much to learn for all of us. I took home I have a lot of takeaways, and that's really, and it really provides me an insight now as I look at my future and as I plan for my family and also plan to have a child of my own one day. And that really gives me the right foundations. As we wrap up, I'd like to ask our guests for any insights or takeaways as we say goodbye and go home and raise our children and raise a healthy nation.
Okay, so upon hearing the story of a mom, one thing that I've also realized, actually I've experienced naman in the past, na the role of a mother is really very crucial to a child's life. It's very important as in the families to help one another, especially in taking care of the child, for the husband to help their wives in raising a child, because it's not easy. The nutrition, the well-being of the child relies on the mother, and it's not the job of the mother alone. It requires the help of the entire families, but mainly, of course, as a mom, ikaw gid mo itutok, no? So that's it. It's very important to help one another, and it's very important for the mothers to take good care of their child. And I'm happy to hear, a mom na nag-exclusive breastfeeding. It's very important, no, na mag-breastfeed ka sa imong bata, kay aside from din na ka mo gastong mahal sa gatas, healthy ba yun imong gihatag. So yes, the role of the mom is very crucial in a child's life.
And just to add, like, the whole breastfeeding experience, I really, I learned about it daan, but now as a mom, I'm really seeing it firsthand, the benefits of it. My son has never gotten sick he's 8 months tomorrow. So, makaingon ko nga marag, if you can, please do. But ayaw ka stress. But if you are blessed enough to feed your children exclusively na breastfeeding, then why not? Ako kay kag ma-save mo na siya. And ako kay siyang tabang sa mga anak. So, yeah.
Right. It's really, I guess it really comes back to where we are right now in our situations in life. Can we breastfeed? Or if you can't, there are also other options in terms of how we can best take care of our children. And I guess it really goes back to what we mentioned earlier, that knowledge is power. It's really making sure that we plan, we understand, and we work with local organizations like the Cebu City Nutrition Network, the Cebu City Nutrition Office, and getting the right information. And again, more than anything, we're very thankful and blessed to have organizations like CCNO who works with the families and provides them with information and access to information and supplemental feeding and other programs to support the families. And at this point, it's really, again, we really highlight that we can't do this alone. There are always opportunities of supporting each other as we fight and combat malnutrition and provide better and higher opportunities for our children and providing them a chance to grow. And we're very happy and excited to announce that we have a new program under the Ramona Baitis Foundation in partnership with the Cebu City Nutrition Office and the Cebu City Nutrition Network. And this is a Chance to Grow campaign. And Myron has all the details for you.
Yes, thank you very much, Ms. Lee. So for the information of those who are listening to us or watching our video, so last July 6th, we just launched the Chance to Grow campaign. And this is in collaboration again, as what Ms. Lisa said, with Cebu City Nutrition Network. So what is A Chance to Grow? Lately, we've been talking about how a mother can contribute in helping a child grow a healthy life, and how the city can contribute. Now the question is, how as a community can we help combat malnutrition in Cebu City given the rising numbers? So A Chance to Grow campaign, first of all, would like to raise awareness on the importance of early education. Na dili lang si Miss Isa, dili lang si Miss Bliss, dili lang si Miss Liz, and dili lang ako ang kaybaw na importante di ay kaayo ang early nutrition sa bata. But what if, imagine a community who has this knowledge, who has the skills to improve a child future by providing him or her a healthy present, a nutritious present. So that's the first goal of our A Chance to Grow campaign. Second is kanang concrete jud, di ba? Concrete nga maka-improve ta og health sa usa ka bata, and that is how unsa man inyong mag-give up. You know, for 35 pesos, you can now feed a child for one meal a day, and that will make a difference. Imagine if you will give 250 pesos, which can feed a child for a week. For 1,000, you can feed a child for a month. And for 4,950, you can feed a child for 3 months. Di ba, Miss Bliss? In order to have a naadjud impact sa nutrition sa bata, you have to feed him or her 120 days para ma-improve iyang nutrition. So that's what we are calling on to the people who are listening or seeing this video. Let's give our children a healthy life, a chance to grow by giving a bit of your money, extra money, to feed a child. Then, a part of this campaign also is that we are also looking na, dili lang, di ba, how important also is play. And a child cannot play without being healthy. So part of the campaign, A Chance to Grow campaign, is to also provide children an opportunity to play. So we have identified a beneficiary. If you are familiar with the Barangay Inayawan, there's an area there nga na ay landfill. And so we are so grateful nga the Balay Amuma of the Kids Life Foundation, naghimo sila dito og home-based center, development center for children, and this benefited 96 children, and we are looking into building a playground in that place, in that environment nga murag dili siya pleasant nga environment, but we can give a child a chance to play, a chance to be a child. Oh, in this very discouraging environment, why not put a structure that will, every time they play, they will see hope. They will see their future. So that's the chance to grow. So we are aiming to collect at least 1 million for the nutrition of the children. This will benefit 600 children, malnourished children in Cebu City. And we are also looking into getting 100,000 in building this playground in the Barangay Inayawan. So for those who are touched by the stories of Miss Isa and by the stories of Miss Bliss, I hope you can share a little and be blessed as well. Oo. So, for those, sige, kung ganahan na mo, if na-touch mo or ganahan mo contribute, you can share your donation to our available platforms, no? First, you can deposit it in Ramon Abetes Foundation, Inc., Union Bank of the Philippines. Our account number is 0027-8000-3279. Again, 0027-8000-3279. And for those, uso naman ang GCash. And for those who can contribute through GCash account, you can send your donation through this number, 0917-307-6847. Again, 0917-307-6847 for Sablayan H or Ramon Avites Inc. Then you can also visit our website, www.rafi.org.ph, for more details. We also have an available crowdfunding platform for Balay Amuma Playground. So you can also visit that in this website, rafi.org.ph/crowdfunding/Balay Amuma. So we have so many avenue for you to help, and I hope let's help build a nation by your donation. Thank you.
Thank you. There's so many opportunities of helping. Again, it's really a community that helps and supports our children. And really, it's a community that helps and provides opportunities for children and gives them a chance to grow. So again, we invite everyone to support the campaign, A Chance to Grow campaign. Visit the Ramon Aboitiz Foundation Facebook page or visit our website, www.rafi.org.ph, for more details. And we're very excited to have you as champions for children and support the cause. Before we end, it has been such a wonderful conversation, and we hope that all of you enjoyed listening to the conversations today. Before we say goodbye, we have a new segment. Well, it's not really a new segment because it's the very first segment, because it's a very first pilot episode. So we have a segment in our heart-to-heart conversations, and it's called Heartfelt Word. So before we say goodbye, we'd like to ask our guests, what is your heartfelt word for the day as you leave today's conversation? So it could be anything. You say, hi, my name is Liz, and my heartfelt word for today is nurturing.
Okay. So, okay, start, Miss?
Ikaw na lang.
Okay, so hi, I'm Isa, and my heartfelt word of the day is empowered.
Hi, I'm Bliss, and my heartfelt word for the day is building.
Hello, I'm Mai, and my heartfelt word for the day, actually words, a healthy nation starts with a healthy nutrition.
Wow, thank you. It's been a wonderful day. It's been a wonderful conversation. And we, again, couldn't be more thankful and blessed to have all of you with us and have all of our listeners and viewers with us today. So we hope that you enjoyed the conversation. Again, special thanks to Isa for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Special thanks to Bliss, again, for being with us today. Thank you to the Cebu City Nutrition Network, to the Cebu City Nutrition Office, and all of the work that you guys have been doing, to all of our nutrition officers and the communities and your partners on the ground. We are incredibly, incredibly grateful for the work that you've been doing. And Isa, thank you so much for your wonderful content. Keep doing what you're doing, and we're very excited to hear more about Baihana and the work and your content, and keep on inspiring women and all of the families out there. So thank you so much for your content. If you enjoyed today's episode, and if you enjoyed our stories and our heartfelt conversations for today, let us know and get in touch with us. We are online. We are on all of the platforms. Again, look for the Ramon Aboitiz Foundation on Facebook, on Instagram, and get in touch with us. Look us up on YouTube as well. Today's episode is also on YouTube. So leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. And let us know what other heartfelt conversation you want to have on this page. We want to hear from you. If you want to have a shout out, let us know. We'll be recognizing you on our next episode. And we can't wait to hear from you. We will be reading your comments in the next episode, so stick around, and we can't wait to have a heartfelt conversation with all of you. Again, my name is Liz, and I'm very, very happy to have journeyed with you and shared this heartfelt space with you. Mai?
Thank you very much, Miss Liz. Yes, stay tuned to our next episode, and I hope you will not forget that you will also help children again for this for our journey. So let us invite our barkadas, our friends, our family to listen to this, and I know for sure you will learn a lot how you can help as an individual, as a family, as a community, and as a nation. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone, and have a wonderful day. Thank you, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks. Raising a Healthy Nation, a heart-to-heart episode brought to you by the Ramon Aboitiz Foundation, Incorporated. Produced by Jave Agbon. Supervised by Esti Plunkett, Elizabeth Baumgart.